here from the Scrappy Sisters, and it is day 7 of our Scrappy Advent Calendar series. So I am up today with my process video for Jess's 2022 December daily album, and this is going to be an outside of the page protector layout. Now, obviously, if you haven't worked out by now, I plan my layouts as I can in the little bits of time that I have, and then I kind of bring it all together to film when I get a minute. So often I'm only filming like the process of me putting things together, like sticking it all down. I'd already thought through it all, and so I had this little idea in my head for these particular photos, which is decorating the Christmas tree for Jess and her boy. She had 5 photos, and I kind of had played around with doing some flip ups, and I had some scrap paper that was already cut 3x4 size. So I had cut down one of the 12x12 pieces of paper in the Cocoa Vanilla Studio Joyful collection. It's just the one with little Christmas trees on it. And I had some scraps, as I said, from things that I'd done already. And so I just thought, you know what, I'm going to trial scoring these at 3x4 or just over 3x4, I think, and then seeing if I can create some little flaps that will be strong enough to hold quite a few photos. So as I said, there's 5 photos. So I've got 2 flaps down the bottom of my page, and then up the top I'm doing just some embellishments, decorating. I am mounting my photos that are going on the inside of my flippy flaps because, as you can see here, the back side of the paper of one of the flaps I used is one of the 12x12 papers that had the numbers on it, and obviously it's facing the wrong way, like the wrong direction in the flap, like the numbers are facing to the side. So I wanted to cover those, which I am doing with my photo, but my photos I had trimmed down. So they're about 1/4 of an inch shy of 3x4. And so I knew I needed to back them on some pattern paper so I could cover more of that background. And you can't even tell that, you know, the pattern on the back of that, like, it doesn't go the way it's supposed to, if that makes sense. And so the other pattern paper I use is actually a scrap or an offcut from the A5 paper stack. So the back of those are plain, they're not double-sided, they're single-sided papers. So the one on the right doesn't have any pattern on the back of it, and the one on the left does. But I don't think you can really tell when you flip it up and you're looking at the photos. And so I mounted all of the photos on some pattern paper, and then I'm going to create a little embellishment cluster at the top. Now I pulled out some doilies from my stash. So I've got some gold doilies that I thought, you know what, these will go well. There's a lot of gold in this collection, and I have used silver on other pages. I totally am all good with mixing my metals. But this page, I'm going with a gold doily. It's a little intense, so I am layering it with a white doily. You can definitely still see a lot of the gold, but I just thought a full gold doily was a bit much. And then I'm going to pull in a chipboard Christmas tree because we're decorating the tree, so wanted to get the Christmas tree embellishments on this page. So I've pulled in that, and then I pulled in a little reindeer, I assume, or a deer from the ephemera pack. And then I've got a spare like section of the top of my flap on the right hand side is blank. I only had 5 photos, not 6. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to create a cute little embellishment cluster on top of this. And again, pulled in a Christmas tree. It is the same as the chipboard Christmas tree, although the chipboard one has gold detailing on it and the ephemera pack doesn't, the die cut one doesn't. And then I also pulled out the little bear because he just is cute, and I'm not sure where else I'll use him, so I pulled out the little bear as well to add. He's holding a present, so I'm adding another present onto the page as well. And then for the deer, I wanted him to, or her, to overlap the Christmas tree a little bit, so I'm popping up some foam behind that. So I'm just doing that here. I think I have to add more tape to my ATG gun in a second. I've got a feeling, you know, story of my life. Do a lot of crafting, have to add glue to my ATG gun all the time. So I will just pause for a second while I swap over my tape runner. It does not take long. I do this so often now that it's just second nature. It's pretty easy. If you don't have an ATG gun and you're thinking about getting one, do it. I love mine. Would not be without it. Honestly, it's my hands down most used item in my craft room. And I yeah, I rate it highly. I know they're not for everyone, but I really like them. So there we go. Changed over my glue. Easy done. Now, the journaling, Jess always yells at me, not always, when she made my 2021 December daily album. I do a lot of journaling, which is weird for me because in my general 12 by 12 layouts, I barely do any journaling. But for Christmas, I just have a lot to say. So I always do a lot of journaling, and Jess had a lot of trouble fitting it on the page. So I'll be interested to see how I go with my 2022 album, which I will be working on after this one. And just to see, to see how I go with my quantity of journaling. But Jess only does little tiny journaling, so hers fit perfectly in one strip. I didn't even have to trim it in that little gap there, and it just says, the boys loved helping with the tree this year and they did a fantastic job too. I love it now that the boys want to help. So that's super cute. And I'm going to add my number above the deer. Sorry, it's a little out of frame. Hopefully we'll pull it back down for you. I'm just going through my thickers to see which ones I want to use, and I end up settling on a black thicker set. It's like a, what do you call it? Enamel, no, is that, what's it called? Okay, the word has escaped me. It's not a puffy, and it's not chipboard. Anyway, whatever that is, that's the number I use, number 6. This is story number 6 in her album. And then I will adhere the journaling down with wet glue, and I'll add that to the page. And then I think I've added my puffy stickers already, and I've added my little family traditions chipboard banner on the page. So we are totally done. There are close-up photos coming in a minute. Love it. Yeah, I really like this. Super cute, quite simple. It works well. Oh, I have to punch my holes. I'm thinking, what am I doing? I'm using my front cover as a template for me to punch holes. And I had deliberately, obviously, adhered all my elements more to the right-hand side of the page because I knew that this was needed to have the holes punched on the left. And on the back, I will have day 7, which should be, or story 7, which should be the next video you see, which will be on day 9, if I'm doing my math correctly. I hope you're enjoying our series so far. I hope you're loving watching us open our gifts. We're having a grand old time. Well, I assume we are. I'm filming this in advance. But thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Bye.